Selfies.
Seconds.
Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to Videoland Express, our final show for the year. I am Frankie B.
And I'm Mark.
Okay, today is our big Star Wars special. I just want to make a really quick announcement because we got to get into the movie that we both really enjoyed. The announcement is about the blog, and I rearranged a couple things here. Basically, I just posted a new blog yesterday, and if you go to the top, there is the address for our website. The website, you can get me on Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, Vimeo, a bunch of other social websites, okay? And then you scroll down. We're recording a special 1-hour show today. The first half hour, we're going to critique Rogue One, and then we're going to do spoilers. But that's going to be the second half of the show when we go off the air. It's going to be a 1-hour special. We're going to tape it, and we're going to put it up on YouTube by Monday. So you see the film this weekend, and then you want to know what we thought about the spoilers. You can see the show in its entirety, the special edition, on our YouTube page right there, Videoland Express on YouTube. Underneath is a Godzilla community. I had a problem with that link. Just cut and paste that Godzilla community link onto your browser, and it takes you right to the community. But you have to be join up with Google Plus. That's a Google Plus thing, not me. That's on them, okay? And then underneath, I just did an announcement on Wednesday about the different changes I did on the blog and the website. And then yesterday, I did a brand new show where I talk more about Rogue One, but more about Facility Jones getting 1 point whatever money for the film and women power, and I go over Carrie Fisher book. There's a link right there. You see the link that's pointed? Okay, some people said, I listened to the widget, there's kind of like bumps in it, and sometimes it sounds like you're skipping. You go directly to that link, it takes you to Blog Talk Radio page itself, and the sound is much, much better. So you got two options right there, and right on the bottom is SoundCloud, where I'm going to be putting music up the next 4 weeks. I got backlog only because we concentrating on this show. We got renewed for 27 years. So what's going to happen is I got 4 weeks during the holidays to put some new music, and we're going to come back in 4 weeks right after the holidays. So let's get into the show. Okay, just wanted to show you that real quick because this show is going to be repeated during the holidays. I think we'll be back about January 14th with 2 new shows. Now, real quick about the box office is where is the movie Rogue One, where is it going to stand? So what's going to happen is it's not going to open in 3 major markets until January. So when we come back in January for a brand new year, for our 27 years, it will open in China, India, Japan. These 3 markets were very, very nasty to Force Awakens. We know Pacific Rim got a brand new title, Pacific Rim 2, Milestone or whatever, and that Pacific Rim number 1 made over $200 million.
Whoa.
Force Awakens did not make $200 million. It barely cleared $100 million. China was not nice to Force Awakens. Neither was India. India didn't clear number 1.
What do they need, more robots?
No, well, I'm going to get to it. That's why they added 2 Asian characters to Rogue One, because they won't, especially they added Donnie Yen, who's IP man, who's huge in China. That's why he got it added to the cast. Disney wants to open that market. Yes, there's a little marketing merchandise angle.
I always thought it was all about the robots.
Now, but let me tell you, the robots even tanked in Japan.
No.
Force Awakens did not open at number 1. I think it opened up at number 2 or number 3, and it was downhill from there. Even Japan rejected Force Awakens. So what's going to happen with Rogue One? Now, we know already, Box Office Mojo said Rogue One is going to be in the top 15 of all time. Fine. Okay. Right now, for its top 10, it's got to compete against, Fantastic Beasts and Doctor Strange of $225 million. They kind of topped it right there. It's not going to make any more money. So we know Rogue One is going to beat it, but it's going to beat over $300 million. And it's got to beat Batman vs. Superman, Deadpool, the top 2, Captain America, and will beat Finding Dory for the year. We don't know. There was a lot of bad reviews on IMDb. I don't know what's the negative stuff is coming out. It's unbelievable. We're Star Wars fans, but also with sci-fi fans. But also, I love Star Trek and Star Wars, anything out of space. Now, I'll be honest with you. Mark is going to go ahead with his full-blown review. We both saw it. We both liked it. We both agree it's better than Force Awakens. But anyway, my main thing is we're going to find out in 4 weeks. We're going to find out where does Rogue One going to stand in the top 10. But it's the international box office that's going to count. That's going to affect the other prequels. The Han Solo movie. Already the guy from Hell Caesar, Aaron, I forgot what his name. Danny Glover is going to play Lando Calrissian. The movie's going forward. Han Solo movie is going to happen. They're talking about Boba Fett movie. They're talking about Boba Fett solo movie. They're talking about Yoda solo movie. Okay, these are all kind of like prequels. Okay, the Rogue One is going to make a difference. If the sales are kind of lackluster, it doesn't break China, doesn't break India, Japan, those other films might be affected. Or they're going to go ahead with it because of the merchandising rights, but it's going to affect their budgets. Okay, so today and the next 4 weeks are going to start where is Rogue One going to land in the U.S. market as far as top 10 of all time. When we be back in 4 weeks, the international kicks in. So we have a 4-week break. Are we missing anything? You're not going to miss anything, okay? The show will be, it's being taped right now. It'll be on Monday on YouTube. The radio show is continuing. As a matter of fact, I did a show yesterday. Carrie Fisher, yes. Boy, she has last laugh. Not spoiler? Not spoiler?
No spoilers.
No. We're not going to say no spoilers until we go up there.
Even saying that's a spoiler.
And indirectly, yes, she has final laugh because she is going to be in chapter 8 and number 9. She doesn't talk much about it in the book. The book is basically in 3 chapters, 3 sections, should I say. She talks about the affair with Harrison Ford, Harrison Solo, shall we say, okay? Tongue-in-cheek. And then she has excerpts from her diary. She does poetry, really rhymes. And then the last half, she thanks the fan base. Let me show you one little quick picture. I do have a more full review on the Block Talk Radio. I did a show yesterday, so I talk more about the book. There she is. Can you see that? It's what's that? The wax thing, Madame. How you say that?
Madame Tussaud. Madame Tussaud.
Right, and out of all things they put her in is the
slave outfit.
The slave outfit, Jabba the Hutt. I thought that's cute.
Jesus.
But she said, because of that slave outfit, she has fanboys all over the planet, and it helped her out because she has a couple of other books, and she amidst all the drug problems and everything and the different affairs and shit. But the thing about this book.
So does she admit the cocaine pinky?
No, that's the other book. She did a book called Wishful Drinking. That's the cover of her dressed as Princess Leia, holding a martini, passed out on the bar.
Oh, I've seen that.
That's the book that she reveals all the crazy things that happened to her life.
Wow.
Over here is the rebound. Her management really screwed her up and left her broke, and she admits, thanks to Comic-Cons and all that, got a career back together, and she's really supportive of the fans. She's really
see that?
Yeah.
Support the fans, and they will support you.
Yeah.
Don't spit on them because they're your followers. It's almost like I hate to say this analogy. It's like a religion.
Yeah.
If you lose touch with the people who follow you, they will lose touch with you, and you will cease to exist.
Well,
almost like a religion.
Well, that's what happened with George Lucas. George Lucas, when back in the 1990s, when the internet first started, fanboys were putting up, dedications to Star Wars, and he went after the students.
Yeah, fan tributes.
Right, and then they went after him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no, first he went after them in lawsuits, and then the fans turned around, hey, screw you. If it wasn't for us, you wouldn't afford $1 billion. We're the ones who bought the toy figures. And he even said, how you make so much money? Toy figures. Hey, okay.
Exactly.
Oh, action
Toys, the
figures.
hats, the merchandising.
The merchandising,
Like I
exactly.
said, merchandising.
Right, and that's what happened with Metallica back in the 90s, when the music was available for free on Napster. Metallica went after their own fans and sued them. Man, and it took them a long time to recover from that.
Yeah, you should go after Napster. Don't go after your fans.
Yeah, never go after the fans. And the people say, Frank, we noticed that you're on blog, you're here and there and stuff like that, but we noticed you don't have really huge numbers. That's the whole trick to surviving. We always had a steady, loyal fan base, which we appreciate so much. That's how we lasted 26 years.
We love you guys.
Once you hit number one and you do $1 billion sales, there's only one way to go, downhill. So we've always been like right over here, not above, not below, and that's what that's how we survived 26 years, and we got renewed for 27 years. Bragging rights.
Wow. I wonder if that means we should do a Videoland Express convention.
Wait till I join the union, then we'll talk about
Yeah,
that.
then we can start selling T-shirts.
No, we can't do that because we're nonprofit on cable access.
Well, not here, but I'm saying
Right. But so
in the convention.
right.
When we do the convention.
So let's get right to it, because I did mention about the cast. The Attitude Agents, there's a guy who's believe it or not, a rap guy. His name is DJ Rav or something like that, Indian guy. And he's the one with the with the, what do you call the goggles? Remember the thing?
Yeah, the pilot.
He was the pilot, right?
Oh.
Okay, and he's big in England, but he's from he's from Pakistan. But again, that he kind of represents the Indian thing. Okay, that's why the reason they
So they're covering all their bases. They're covering India, China, and who are they covering for Japan?
Danny Yen, his co-partner there, the other Asian guy, he's kind of dressed as a samurai. Even though he's also Oriental, but he's dressed like a samurai. He's supposed to represent the Japanese community, even though he's actually
Asian, not Oriental.
Well, I'm talking about the Orient. That includes Japan and China and Hong Kong and Malaysia and that whole section. I forget the actor's name, but I believe he is Chinese, but they dress him up like a samurai.
Yeah, but that's a problem. You have to, if
They're
you're
pushing
representing,
it,
yeah, you have to, if you're representing a samurai, you have to be of Japanese origin, or else the Japanese hardcore fans aren't gonna put up with it. Look at Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
You think they're happy?
Personally,
They're
Scarlett Johansson, I think, is miscast.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Okay, I just pissed off about 75% of the fanboys out there. But
Yeah,
that
no,
is
but
true.
there's a lot of anime fanboys who are ticked off by the fact that they don't feel that a Ghost in the Shell is being represented correctly.
They're right. It's not.
Okay, there.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know what they're saying. I don't have any opinion either way, because
hey,
don't go after me.
Yeah, don't go after us. An opinion about it.
Yeah, we're just letting you know what's out there.
We're reflecting. Of course, the male lead, I forgot his name, he is a Mexican writer, director, producer, and actor. Okay, so they're covering the South America, or the Latino community, or whichever way you want to say it, because we have Latin ourselves, and so he represents the Spanish Latino market. So if anything, talk to Disney about that. Okay, they put this cast together as a reflection of, they want to make sure the numbers hit.
Everybody's in on the spectrum.
Exactly,
All angles are covered.
Exactly, because what happened with Force Awakens, it bombed on those three major markets: China, Japan, and India. And those are huge markets. And it's kind of embarrassing, Disney saying, hey, we own Star Wars. And somebody says, well, Pacific Rim made $200 million. How come Star Wars did? Ooh. So, anyway, let's get to it, okay? That's the side. We got some more trivia, but we did say we both liked it. Mark, give you a full review. This is without spoilers.
All right, without spoilers.
6:30 hits, we're hitting the spoilers.
Yeah.
Hard time.
As soon as the half-hour clock hits the little hand, then that's where we're gonna hit spoilers, and that's gonna be all up on YouTube. Right now, no spoilers, because this is live, and we want you to enjoy the show without spoilers. All right, quick review. I won't, have a drink. I won't say too much, but this is my feelings about it. It's a different movie. It has a different pace. I enjoyed the fact that it went towards a different direction. To me, I hate to reference too many other films, but sometimes this is how people let you know what's going on. To me, it was like The Dirty Dozen. The Dirty Dozen, these guys are a ragtag bunch of guys, and they're on a mission. And everybody knows what the mission is, so no spoiler that's there. And they have to go complete the mission. They're serious. You know, there's some comedic moments in there, but there's no like CP3O, no R2D2, no, oh, look at these two cute little guys. They're going to be wonderful for selling packaged toys to kids. No, it doesn't happen here. You know, there's a bit of a comic relief in the movie, but they try to shut it down too. At points, people are laughing at the comic relief, but they do a good job of shutting it down at points where he tries to refer to things that have been said in the other Star Wars movies. They just shut him down. Shut up. Let's keep going. And the movie flows on. And they show you what the dire consequences of the movie. You know, it's no laughing matter. This is a serious objective. We're not going to start laughing. You know, there's no time for romance. And if romance happens, it's only a happenstance. You know, like psychologists would tell you in real life, in pressured and under pressure situations, you'll have something that flourishes. But that's only because you're under the pressured situation, not because like, oh my God, I always loved this person. No, it's because boom, a gun is put to your head, and you goes, well, this is the last person you're gonna see. I'm gonna blow your brains out. And then you're like captive, and you're like, oh, okay. Then out of there, love flourishes. But that's almost like a what do you call that? Psychological. When you get some kind of cabin fever, and you're stuck in like a what do you call that? House syndrome. Is that what they call it?
Sounds about right.
You know, like when you're captive, and then you fall in love with the person who has you captive. It's almost like that sense for the film. And I'm saying, you know, where the romance digs up. The romance digs up because of that. But like I said, I enjoyed the flow. I enjoyed the seriousness of it. But there's some people who expect it to be sweet, you know, lovable, more music, more Star Wars music. But I've heard a lot of the music is cut back. And that's my take. My 2 cents.
Okay. For me, what I did was I didn't know I was going to make it Friday, so I decided to hit IMDb, and I saw all these negative reviews. I said, what the hell is this? Oh, the first half is boring. It doesn't take off until the last half hour. I don't think these people saw the friggin' movie. If anybody remembers A New Hope, a little flash in the past. Does anybody remember VHS? Oh, that's going to be VHS, should I say? Okay, that's a far. We go back. We both go back a lot, but this is an actual. Well, let me just pull it out. Yeah, VHS. When
this is the past.
Yeah, and I still got this. Believe it or not.
Past technology. Okay,
and it was in stereo, mono compatible. Hey, nice. And then the upgrade, of course, was VHS. And special edition. This is with all the added extra. Remember, they added all the graphics and Han Solo stepped on Jabba's tail and all that. And then, because let's go triple dipping again with the special edition where they had the new movie and the old movie. Okay, I gotta be careful because this is kind of really old and this thing falls apart. Okay, this is like the old movie. You see, it's kind of falling apart. Boom, and this is the original edition, and then the new edition. And I think this goes like for $7,500 on Amazon, believe it or not. It's collector's item and stuff like that. And remember, George Lucas said, oh, we're going to release the original because we tampered with the negative. Wrong. Okay. So a little triple dipping. But is it better than Force Awakens? Hell yeah. But here's the thing I would just want to say. As far as its formula, okay? You mentioned...
Dirty Dozen.
Thank you. Magnificent Seven. Basically, one guy is in charge. Get a bunch of grunts together, and
no spoilers.
And but it's a formula.
Yeah, formula.
Okay, and so Miss Jones, she gets a bunch of guys, ragtail guys, and says, "I don't think you can pull off this mission. I think I can." They told her good luck. That's the setup for the first movie. You get to know everybody. They, you know. And then people say, oh, you don't get to know them that good. I think you know them good enough. The highlight was the robot what's his name? KSO, something like that. And of course, Danny Yen, okay, playing the blind guy. That was enough for me. And again, the pacing was really quick. And again, it gets together. Hey, does anybody remember A New Hope? None of the action really took off until they got to the Death Star. 1 hour into the movie. A lot of people don't remember that. People said the same thing about Jurassic World. Oh, the thing doesn't happen until like almost 45 minutes. Did anybody see or remember Jurassic Park? Nothing happens for the first hour of the movie. The first hour was like, oh, we're in a Hawaiian island. Oh, we're in a park. Oh, there's a dinosaur, a triceratops sick in the road. Oh, let's go into the park now. Hopefully we see the T-Rex. Oh, the Jeep broke down. It's raining. There's the T-Rex. 1 hour into the movie before the action happens, folks, okay? Stuff happens within the first half hour of this movie, okay? It's in the trailer, and none of the trailers, believe it or not, you see, well, good luck on the mission. I'm going to get a bunch of ragtail guys together, and we're going to have some action in the town. It's in the trailer, okay? And the trailer plays just like the movie, okay, in sequence. Well, guess what? Half hour into the movie, action, okay? And I swear to God, I don't think these people have seen these movies, okay? So I will vouch the pacing. Now,
pacing has always been slow. Even in Magnificent Seven. How long till something happens?
They don't meet up to the Mexican Eli Gualo, who played the head of the Mexican bandits and stuff like that, until 1 hour of the movie.
Right.
The whole hour is him
build up,
putting the rag team together.
Yeah, getting to know the team, and some of the story and the build up for the Magnificent Seven. You're like, I don't even care at this point. Let's just get to the action. All right, yeah. Speed it up.
Yeah, I think
I was very impatient.
This was the pacing was excellent. The action is really there. Cinematography. There's some battle scenes without. You saw the trailer. You see the TIE fighter and the X-wing fighters moving and stuff. There's a scene there, as in the trailer, where you see the AT-ATs, okay, and the X-wings are approaching these. Somebody is taking drone lessons. Okay, I'm talking about the full copter because I'm taking lessons myself.
Oh, nice.
And the drone lessons, and basically the drone they got drones now. You heard about them like Top Gun. Tom Cruise wants to do Top Gun #2, but he's in charge of drones. You don't have a jet fighter, I don't think you're going to have Top Gun 2. It doesn't work. Yeah. But drones are basically, there's 4 propellers that you can move the drone up and down, but they added camera at it. Okay, just put drone, go to YouTube, put a drone video on YouTube, and you see some magnificent video of these drones going through canyons and up in the sky and through the clouds. Beautiful photography. Somebody was taking lessons. When you see this what's it? A TIE fighter, X-wing, right, going over an AT-AT, somebody was taking drone lessons. That's a drone shot, and it was really done nice. Cinematography was excellent. I want to pronounce his name right. What's his name at? Michael Gianjavi. I think I'm getting it right. He wrote the music, and again, people got in his case when he did the soundtrack for Jurassic World. What he did was the hardest thing on the planet. Most composers would say, no, I'm not going to take John Williams' music because they expected in the movie and then add snippets to it. It went back to Godzilla. The new Godzilla, Shin Godzilla, they went to Akira Fukunabe's soundtrack. They took snippets of his original down, 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 down. The new composer took the old theme, rearranged it, and added his own kind of theme. Michael did the same thing with Jurassic World. There's a beautiful little theme in there buried because everybody wrote dun, 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 dun. He did the same thing with John Williams' soundtrack. All the themes are in there, but apparently, he could only do a couple notes. Da 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 da. So a lot of people are getting on his case for it. Okay, he was told do snippets of a soundtrack and then add your own. That was his job. The hardest job in the world for a composer to do. Take somebody else's music and then try to make it your own and add your own music to it. I think he did an excellent job. And some of the music that he wrote originally sounded like it was written just by John Williams himself. So I can say that as a musician, as a composer. Again, I sat there and said, that stuff really doesn't fit. Again, flags. We're both editors. We've done common work. I'm a composer. No flags risen in the movie. Now, one thing that I want to mention about the editing and about the rewriting. Carrie Fisher did a lot of rewriting. She was a script doctor. I mentioned that on the radio show about a book. And Quentin Tarantino, he was a script writer. And a lot of times, if the film needs some needs some perking up, add some comedy, add some
Punch it up.
punch it up. Thank you. And the person who punched it up, I met Tony Gilroy, believe it or not. And I forgot all about this until a friend reminded me. That time, I don't have my glasses on. Tony Gilroy, of course, he did the Bourne franchise. At that time, I met him in the Apple store when he was with Clive Owen. They were doing a thing called Publicity with Julie Roberts. They were both corporate spies, Clive Owen and Julie Roberts. That's what the film is about. And Tony Gilroy with Clive Owens were at the Apple store. And, I didn't recognize Tony Gilroy offhand. I was just looking at Clive Owen because at that time they were talking to him about being James Bond. Okay, and he did Sin City. And Tony Gilroy was there and said, okay, and I didn't put two and two together. And then I bumped into him in the bathroom. Okay, I did my business. He did his business, washing hands. I said, "You're Tony Gilroy." I said, "Yeah." "Oh, Bond, you did the Bond films." "Yes, I did." "Oh, congratulations. Good luck on your new movie." That's why I bumped into him in the Apple store.
Did you get an autograph?
I didn't think of getting an autograph.
He said, "Here, sign my toilet paper."
I realized he would be in charge of doing the rewrites for Rogue One. That's one I can kick myself in the ass for. But did you feel that there was any part in the movie that it was forced rewriting or forced editing?
Well, they always say that happens. Like we were saying with Suicide Squad, we were talking before how Suicide Squad, they felt that it wasn't as enthusiastic as the trailers. That the trailers were fun, so they for some reason hired the people who did the trailers, who edited the trailers, to re-edit the film.
Wow.
To punch it up, because they said this film seems like a downer. Well, when you have those situations, it's going to be a downer. So they say, wow, the guy who did the trailer was amazing. Let's get him to re-edit the film and spend a couple more dollars. And then people are like, wow, this is a weird film. This does not look like something I expected. And the parts don't seem to go together too well.
Well, everybody remembers that, and we mentioned that last time, the scene Will Smith has said, okay, you can do it. And then the fire guy, and then said, sorry about that, I have to get you going. Oh, we're good, right? We're cool. That was funny in the trailer. The movie was not like that. Say, sorry, man, I have to push you. Let's go to the next scene, and boom. So
Right.
So the comedy beat was missing in the movie.
Right.
The big one, and this is not a spoiler, but be forewarned, this is an older trailer, which doesn't make sense. There was a lot of stuff. Somebody was reminding me, in one of the first trailers, you see the commander with the white cape. He's walking in the beach. That got pulled out of the movie only because they added some extra scenes. Okay, that's noticeable. In the movie, I wasn't thinking about it. The one thing that did stick out, and it's still in the last trailer, this particular scene is still there. She's on the plank. This is when the big fight is happening, okay? She's in the plank, and all of a sudden a TIE fighter shows up. It's not in the movie.
Yep. And there was
One minor spoiler.
I think
don't be disappointed when you don't see that scene.
I seen one scene I remember in the trailer.
It's not in the movie, so
Right.
it's not a spoiler.
And one
It's just not in the movie.
And one scene in the trailer, we almost have to wrap it up because we're almost going to be off the air. But one scene they had the commander who came up with the Death Star. He was like standing poetically with his long cape, and it was sort of like a very Hollywood type scene coming into him, and that's not nowhere in the movie. That's in the trailer.
Well, we're going to get into spoilers.
Wrapping up.
4 out of 5. Better than Force Awakens, Empire, Star Wars. I still think Jedi, then Rogue One. This is definitely part of the trilogy. Force Awakens, personally, I thought it was a Han Solo movie. Sorry.
Yep. Now we're at the YouTube point because now we pass our 28 minutes.
We're off the air.
Yeah, we're off the air right now, and so now we might be doing spoilers. So if you don't want to hear this, we might be rambling off spoilers.
Okay, you guys ready?
Ready?
Okay.
If you hear this, if you don't hear this, stick your fingers in your ears and go la 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 la, or mute it.
Yeah. Put a pause. Save the bookmark because if anything, you're watching this on YouTube.
Yes.
So, and this, if anything, you're watching this on Monday morning, Monday afternoon, because
Hopefully you've seen it now.
because what you call it, the show's over Saturday at 6:30. Go home and I'm using a program called Premiere to upload it to do any editing, and then I do a video converter, which takes another couple hours, and then it goes through the process of going up to YouTube, which takes another couple hours, and then I got to put a description and everything. So it takes me a whole weekend to do this. So if anything, you're watching this on Monday after you saw Rogue One from the weekend.
So you got 2 days.
So
Well,
you had 2 days.
You had 2 days. So you have right now, which would be considered an evening, because right now it's somewhere like 5:30, and you have a day and an evening, which is Sunday.
Right. So you're watching this on YouTube on Monday afterwards. So
Yes.
now you haven't seen the movie, okay? Just bookmark it and come back to the show whenever you got to see Rogue One. Maybe you're
Right.
saving it for the next weekend.
And if you're not interested, then just listen to us.
And if you've
Go
seen
on.
it, you're gonna listen to the spoilers and see what we think about the spoilers.
Right.
You go first about the spoilers. What?
All right. How can I start the beginning of it? Let me see.
There's a lot of ways to go about this.
Well, I'll start from the beginning. I don't want to go too much into, I'll let you hit the big, any big spoilers, and then we could do the reveal for the ending. The big reveal for the ending. You know what I mean?
Okay. You mean the final shot of the movie?
Right. Either that. We get into how this compares to what we were saying about these other films, and the big reveal.
I just want to say one thing. Kevin
Yes.
Smith already by Friday night put an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 15 minutes, and he spoiled everything about the film. He did that on Friday night. This is Kevin Smith. And he was pretty much on the money. He brought us some good details.
Wow.
So he went ahead with this.
I'm surprised we go out there because of it.
Yeah. So
I would think that he's in major trouble for going out there and spoiling films already.
But he's a Star Wars fan, but he didn't want to wait. But he did say at the beginning of his YouTube clip, said, "Don't watch the show." He said, "Bookmark it also." If you have, if you want to know if it's worth it. Like, I knew some of the spoilers already, and you know me, I know that the butler did it. And
Yeah,
for me,
yeah.
how did the butler did it?
Yeah, how to do it.
Right. Everybody knows Darth Vader. It comes back.
Right.
So
Spoiler.
yeah. So how did they do it? How did they pull it off? Because the guy who did David Prowse is not around no more. So they
You
got
could always get somebody who's as tall. So
Right.
the costume is sort of like Batman. You put anybody in the Batman's outfit.
Exactly.
Boom, it's Batman. It doesn't matter how they sound, but you get a voice modulator and you're fine.
Right. Okay. So because we got to finish up in 20 minutes. So
Oh, okay. Let me give you one of my spoilers. One of my
Okay.
favorite spoilers, which is an Easter egg. All right, Felicity Jones and the pilot, the captain, they're walking past the planet, right? Then the planet, the desert planet.
Right.
What's its name?
Yavin, the Yavin planet.
Yeah, Yavin planet. Yeah, Yavin or something like that. Right. So they're walking by. This guy bumps into her.
Yeah.
She looks like she's going to start a fight, and all of a sudden it's that guy who had that pig face from the cantina who had threatened Luke Skywalker earlier. And he's like, What do you want, huh? You don't mess with us. And right there is his friend Walrus.
The Walrus.
Yeah, the Walrus and him.
Two cameos.
Yeah, 2 cameos. And his friend the Walrus tries to stop him. And it's, don't mess with us. You don't want to mess with us. We're dangerous men. It's almost like he hits the word line for line. And Felicity Jones, like she wants to get into a scuffle with him.
Right.
And the captain says, no. This is not worth it. This is not worth it. Let's go. We got something to do.
Okay, now talk about Felicity. I can't ever say a word.
Felicity Jones.
Yeah, let's talk about Ms. Jones. Okay.
Yes.
I put on my blog that on Friday, I posted on my blog on Friday. Okay, you've seen the show probably on a Monday. Anyway, and it said that she revealed in an interview with Hollywood Reporter that she got signed up for a sequel, and she said, "Why not Rogue
Isn't
2?"
that the big spoiler? Aren't you supposed to leave that at the end?
No, because the ending is gonna be her. But anyway, I'm going by the article, but she kind of spoiled it herself on Friday. Friday it was already all over the internet. She mentioned.
Don't you want to build up to that?
No.
Let's build up to. Let's give them some Easter eggs. See how many Easter
Well,
eggs you spotted.
this one has already been revealed. That's why I want to get this out of the way. Because she said, what do you think this picture was called Rogue One? Because we can have a Rogue 2. Because I did officially sign up for a sequel, which makes no sense because everybody died. Big spoiler, I mean,
You heard it here.
yeah. So I mean that one doesn't make sense. So she's the one who spilled the beans before we even did say.
Well,
any
she
spoilers.
was probably saying a joke. For all we know, she said, "Yeah, I'm in the sequel."
No,
Probably
she's officially signed. She was very
She
serious.
probably
She
just didn't
signed
want to tell everybody that what happened.
No, it's official. They admitted that she signed up for the sequel. Disney admitted that she's up for the sequel. How they're going to pull that off makes no sense. Then again, we did make a mistake. We said, well, you know the plot of this movie because at the end of Return of the Jedi, she said a lot of Banthas died, Martha. But then we realized that, oops, wait a second, they were talking about the Death Star 2. So if Disney wants to pull another rabbit out of his hat, they could do a movie on that one, getting a bunch of Banthas dying for the plans for the Death Star 2. So they could pull a rabbit out of their hat and do a movie for that. I mean, but what's the other Easter eggs?
Well, the other Easter egg, the little Easter eggs, because those little Easter eggs would have been great as a build-up, and then we hit them with the big reveal. Like they say, leave a tip. But I guess there'll be no tip for anybody. So my other Easter egg I like was when what was the name of the unit again? You said it was like
a queso.
Queso, yeah, the unit that. He was like a droid. What kind of prison droid or a guard droid or something?
No, he was an Imperial droid who got reconditioned.
Right, he gets reconditioned.
For the rebels.
And the funniest part is like when all three of them are they're already into the desert. I mean, they're in the beach planet. It looks like a beach, like Club Med.
Right.
They go in.
Gilligan's Island for me.
Yeah. They go in. The door's closing, and he says a line from the movies from A New Hope. He says, I have a bad feeling, and they tell him, shut up.
I have a bad feeling about this, yep.
Yeah, and he didn't get to finish the line. He says, I have a bad feeling, and they go, shut up. They just shut him down. That's what I mentioned before, that like, he's trying to say something from New Hope. Nope, let's shut him up.
There's another suspicious one. She mentions a sequel. We know Donnie Yen dies, but he tells his partner there, you will see me again. So that's a hint that maybe he will show up because he says, I am with the Force. Actually, him and his friend, they're in charge. They were part of the temple that kept an eye on the Kylo Stone. That was the basis for the lightsabers and the Death Star. Okay, but when he's dying, he tells his friend, you will see me again. Which means that he could be like Yoda and Obi-Wan Kenobi and come back again and the rest of the movies.
Well, yeah, I said that about Jedis.
Yeah, so they kind of left that open. The other spoiler, I forgot, just right at my tongue. What was the other spoiler? About them coming back.
About Jedis coming back? I remember I said Frank, which was a great piece on somebody cutting down The Force Awakens, and it's on YouTube. And it's like a 90-minute rant. And the best thing is about when he was ranting on Force Awakens, where Kylo Ren is talking to Darth Vader's helmet. And the thing that didn't make any sense is like, why is he talking to Darth Vader's helmet when he could actually talk to the real Darth Vader, and the actual Darth Vader will tell him, look, man, I flipped the script. I'm not with the dark side anymore. So I don't even know why you think that you want to continue my path, because I wasn't even going down that path. Whosever path you're continuing, it's not mine.
Right.
So I don't know what the heck you're talking about. You should know that I betrayed the whole Sith. I betrayed the Sith. I betrayed the dark side, and I went back into the light. Even though they said it's impossible. Once you go into the Sith, you can't go back.
Right.
This is all Star Wars. What do you call that? Star Wars trivia. The people who aren't into Star Wars and who are Star Wars fans, Jedi fans, Sith fans, know that once you go over, you can't come back, and you will not be, like a light force. But I guess for Darth Vader, they made a change, sort of like Harry Potter. Oh, you're with Hogwarts or Slytherin? Okay, I'm with Hogwarts.
Yeah.
You do whatever the heck you want.
Exactly. You want to talk about any more cameos?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, the big cameo, which people didn't, were a little bit confused, was C-3PO and R2-D2.
They made a cameo appearance?
At the very end. You blink and you'll miss it.
I must have blinked.
Yeah, talk about blinking. They showed up, and somebody said, "Wait, if the fleet took off, how come they were still on ground when it should have been part of the fleet and part of that ship that Princess Leia was on?" So there was a little confusion there. The big Easter egg I want to talk about is the CG, okay, of the characters. Okay, here's the big reveal. Peter Cushing died so many years ago.
Yes.
He played Grand Tarkov. Okay, and he's throughout the movie. And the one thing I talk to gamers, that I know who people in the business, and they said the two hardest thing. Walt Disney came out with Moana, okay, and that takes place in water, and they got hair and water beautifully done in CG. They cannot do eyes and lips. For some reason, if they try to create a dead actor, they cannot never recreate the eyes. That's something we should have mentioned. Don't see the film in 3D. A lot of his scenes, Grant talked about, is done in the dark, trying to cover up that, he's a CG effect. Now, a lot of people were bothered by that. And I say, wait a second, if you play video games, right? Okay, and a lot of these characters are being remade in CG games and video games and stuff like that. So what's the difference between getting a CG character and putting him into a real movie? And that, to me, it doesn't bother me.
Right. And they talk about how CG improves every year. That it used to be impossible to get hair, to do the hair in CG, and they said now they've perfected it.
Same thing like water with the Walt Disney Moana, okay? But the eyes is still a bit of a problem. Now there's some dark scenes, and we should have mentioned in the show though. Don't see the Star Wars in 3D because there's a lot of dark scenes. There's a great scene where the X-wing fighters are destroying a camp down on one of the planets there, and there's a lot of great explosions, but it's hard to see because unless the explosions happen, everything's still in the dark. Okay, so the 3D doesn't work. But anyway, Grant Tucker, all of his scenes are kind of like very low lit in a space station, and that was one way for them to cover up the CG effect. But if you look closely, you can see the eyes and the lips do not exactly match up. They're trying to get there. But for me, it didn't take away. IMDb said, "Oh, he looked horrible. It took me out of the film." I'm going, but you play video games. What the hell's the difference? Yeah. I don't get that. Of course, let's do the big reveal at the end. You ready?
Right.
Of course, the big reveal is how the movie ends. And that's why I was saying she has final laugh. The final scene is a very young Carrie Fisher. She looked like a cute little Barbie doll. Man, did she look animated. She definitely looked CG. But I got to admit, I saw that scene, and that was the last thing in my mind. I got goosebumps.
Yeah, it was great. I mean,
I saw her. I was like,
they did it in Captain America, in Civil War. Or they even did it in Ant-Man.
Yeah.
With was it Michael Douglas, where they euthanized him. They made it, euthanize means to kill. Where they made him youthful. It was amazing, right. Not euthanize.
X-Men. Remember one of the X-Men movies?
Yes.
You saw a very young Magneto and a very young Patrick Stewart.
Yes.
They were sitting in the couch. I forgot what movie that was, but they were sitting in the couch, and it was them going back when they were young. Oh, I think that was the one with Phoenix dies at the end. I think the last stand. I think it was the third movie. Wolverine. She's trying to kill Wolverine. They both
they kill each other.
They kill each other, exactly. They moved the San Francisco Bridge. That's the movie where you see a very young Magneto and a very young Patrick Stewart.
That's a movie I missed because I tapped out by that time.
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
I said this thing after the first one. I was like, oh my god, this is awful. Yeah. And I said, that's it. No more.
I forgot to mention because I didn't have time. I finally got to see X-Men Apocalypse. I saw it in the movies, but this is the one with Bryan Singer doing the commentary. And this guy he loves Star Wars and Star Trek. Right. Okay.
Was he apologizing?
No. He said, I'm glad he did the movie, but we know what happened. X-Men is going to TV. There's a scene where he says at the very end, he wanted to treat like the cadets fighting Apocalypse like the cadets on Star Trek, the Wrath of Khan, how they're getting their ass kicked. So, and the other references, Return of the Jedi. Jubilee, I think that's the one with the yellow jacket.
Yes.
They come out of the theater, and what's playing, and you see the banner, Return of the Jedi, and Jubilee says, Empire Strikes Back was better.
Right. So they said the third film is usually not that good.
Exactly. Okay. And, well,
I don't have a problem with this one. I don't have a problem with X-Men Apocalypse. It was, you got to admit, the 3 trilogies of the updated X-Men was better than the 3 trilogies of the first X-Men.
Yeah.
How's that?
Right. But there is a reference. The third movie usually sucks, but in case of the Phantom Menace trilogy, something we're going to be talking about when we come back in January and go over the box office scores internationally for Rogue One. We're going to go and retread and compare that to the box office and the trilogy. Phantom Menace did huge. And that's the worst of the trilogy. Attack Clones, the box office was going down, and then Revenge of the Sith was the best out of those 3, but then it was over. The trilogy was over. That was the better one of the 3.
By that time, people had walked away.
And people say, okay, out of Star Wars Empire, Empire is better than Star Wars A New Hope, and Return of the Jedi is always the third one.
Yep.
Now, and as far as that poll goes, they're saying, the poll said, okay, Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars, then it'll be either Force Awakens, Rogue, Sith, and then Return of the Jedi. We know Return of the Jedi is always being pushed down because nobody likes the Ewoks. But do you think Return of the Sith and Rogue,
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi, Sith, Force Awakens, and Rogue. What do you think? Rogue is like number 3 or number 4? Where will you put Rogue One?
I think I'd put Rogue One as compared to you saying Empire Strikes Back. Return of the Jedi. Oh man, I would say Rogue One I definitely like better than Return of Jedi, because Return of Jedi, the Ewok really took me out of that. That was the stupidest movie. When I was a kid, I was like, what the heck is this? What the hell is this?
That was a toughie, yeah.
When I was a kid, I was like, oh, it's bad enough to get these 2 robots. Shut them up. Just shut up.
I remember people saying, what, Disney took over? Flash forward. Guess what, folks?
Hello.
Hello.
Remember,
only
Lucas
because-
was going a little lukey.
Well, what happened was he didn't have the budget for Chewbacca's, so he had to set up with Ewoks.
The thing for do another creature. I mean, come on, you can't get guys in suits and wolf suits. How about wolfmen?
Yeah.
Like what was that? What was the name of the creatures that got the plans for the Death Star? Do with them.
Yeah. Those guys.
Well, you can't do wolves.
Here's the funny thing about it. He finally said, I'm going to get my chance to do the Chewbacca's. I'm going to go to their planet, and I'm going to introduce you to them on the last, what was it, the last movie, Return of the Sith.
I'm sorry to say this, no one cares about the Chewbacca's. No one cares.
They only had a 2-minute cameo appearance. That was it.
Man.
All you see them going, yeah, cut.
Yeah. No one really cares about the Chewbacca's.
But yeah, by then it was too late.
Yeah. I'm telling you, if they wanted to do, what was the name of the group that found the plans for the second Death Star? Let me see. Was it the Tatooines?
I forget.
Well, they should have used those. Those are like the wolf creatures. That they found
I forget the name again. Yeah.
Yeah, that they found the plans for the Death Star. Hell, they should have been in Return of the Jedi.
Again, because he ran out of money or whatever. Don't forget, he was financing the movies himself back then. So
Jesus Christ, man.
20th Century Fox didn't want to give him that extra money. But anyway, so as far as the cameos we had, the big major cameos, Darth Vader, General Tarkin, and Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia at the very end of the movie.
Yep.
But at the very end, you see Darth Vader doing that whole, he comes alive and cuts up, he goes on the ship and cuts everybody up. What do you think about that scene? Let's end there.
Oh, it was pretty cool. It was an awesome scene. It was great to see him back at work. James Earl Jones, man, he's the luckiest, one of the luckiest actors out there.
Back at work, I like that. Yeah, for me, okay. I would go in order because I grew up with Star Wars. Empire back is the more mature one. I would still stick with Jedi, never mind the Ewoks. And then I would definitely say Rogue One. Now, some people said, Star Wars A New Hope is a great sequel to Rogue One. Once a film is already in the can, like New Hope was, that automatically, if you go back to the story, Rogue One is an official prequel. Okay, and Star Wars is not the sequel. Okay, because it's already a story is part of the mythology of Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So if anything, Rogue One is the middle movie of the trilogy, but as far as technical terms, Rogue One is a prequel of about getting the plans to destroy the Death Star for Star Wars A New Hope.
Sort of like Back to the Future 2.
Exactly.
Is Back to the Future 2 really is it a sequel or prequel?
Right. It's the chicken or the egg.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as far as and also let's not forget.
And Marty, what he did. Everybody knows what Marty did. That's why Marty looks like his own son. And people are trying to deny it, but you know what Marty did.
He did the nasty.
The shame.
The nasty.
The shame, Marty.
But that's another reference. Okay, everybody, we're out of here. We have to cut we have to cut it now.
Yeah, we better go.
Because it's not going to fit on the disc for me to put up on YouTube.
That's true.
Anyway, everybody, thanks for listening and watching us for the past 26 years. We're going to come back in 4 Saturdays, and we're going to come back and we're going to pick up with Rogue One, and I got some other things to show next time.
Yep. And now let's go into our freeze frame and say adios. This has been Frank, and I'm Mark.
Thanks for the 26 years, and we're looking forward to seeing you for 27 years.
See you next year. Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
All right.